Today we're going to talk about what you can do to improve your skills. In this video, we are going to talk about what would be the better use of your time and what I would consider to be a waste of time. I'm going to explain why. If you agree or you disagree, let me know in the comments. So the S tier would be the highest. These are the activities that you should do all the time. And then the D tier, these are activities that are complete waste of time. The most popular advice: watch English movies. I've gotten a lot of benefit from watching English movies. Ever since I was a kid, I've been watching English movies. I've also been watching English TV shows. But here's the thing. I've been watching English movies and I've been watching English TV shows ever since I was a kid. So from, I don't know, as early as I can watch TV, I guess, maybe 4 years old, I've been watching English movies and TV shows. And it takes a long time. So I guess if you get exposed to English media, you'll learn some of the words, you'll recognize some of the words, but it's going to take forever. If you're in a situation where you are trying to get hired in a job that requires English skills, you're not gonna improve by just watching a TV show or watching a movie. You'll recognize some of the words, and that's it. That's the best thing you can do. Now, I'm just going to give you an idea. I'm a fan of Japanese anime or Japanese cartoons. For people who are not anime fans, they call it Japanese cartoons. I've been watching that since I was young, and ever since, I guess, high school. So high school is the time that I started watching anime that is not dubbed into English. So it's in Japanese and there are English subtitles at the bottom. I only recognize some of the words. I've been watching it since high school and I'm 34 now, and I recognize some of the words. I can name Japanese animals. I can count in Japanese. I can, recognize some of the words like sugoi and kawaii, and the word eat, like if they're gonna eat, and I recognize some of the greetings, but that's it. So high school up to 34 years old, that's more than 15 years. So imagine that's almost 20 years of watching anime, and I can't have a Japanese conversation. I just know some greetings and some words, and that's it. So watching English movies, I'll put that in the C tier, because if you want to be really good at watching English movies, you have to start as a kid and you have to keep watching English movies until adulthood. It's gonna take you 20 years. So watching English movies and watching English TV shows. Now, if you have a kid, if you have a child in your home, then you should encourage them to watch English movies and TV shows so they can improve. So when they grow up, by the time they're in college, then that would be, what do you call that? That would be a good practice for them. Now, reading or watching the news, it's around the same as watching English movies and TV shows. You could recognize some of the words, you could recognize some conversations. I guess it's a little higher in the tier because it talks about current events. But that's it. Well, here's the thing. This is bad, watching English movies, watching English TV shows, because if you're an adult and you want to improve your English, this isn't a very good idea. Here's my recommendation. So this is the next thing. This is higher on the list. Listen to podcasts or listen to interviews on interesting topics. So this is a lot higher than watching the news or watching TV shows, because in real life, when you get to meet people, well, yeah, sometimes you're gonna talk about current events, so you can talk about the news. But if you really do think about it, are you gonna report the news like a reporter? No. when you talk to people, you are going to talk about topics that you're interested in. And, that's the most important thing. When you talk to someone, well, in my case, when I talk to someone, we talk about the topics that I'm interested in. We talk about different anime. Yeah, I'm an anime fan. We talk about fitness. I like going to the gym. I like talking about fitness. We like talking about martial arts and uh, different philosophies and different business strategies. So those are the things that I find interesting. So I listen to podcasts about things that I find interesting, and I share what I've learned with the people that I know. So and that's how it goes. I talk about the topics that I'm interested in. YouTube English tutorials are designed for people who do not know how to speak in English. So if you're a Filipino and you've studied English from grade school up to high school, I'd put this in the C tier along with watching English movies and TV shows because, these talk about the grammar rules, but, you don't get better at something just by watching someone do it. It's a good thing. So I'll put this high here. I'll put this here in the high part of the C tier because it talks about the rules. So maybe you have a problem with following some of the grammar rules. So this could be a good refresher. But this is still a C tier but this is higher than watching English TV shows and movies because it takes. And the other thing is, you've already had, or if you've already experienced 10 years of English tutorials, it's called the English subject in grade school and high school. There's also YouTube call center interview tips. YouTube channels that provide call center interview tips. I don't really recommend this because a lot of the interview tips that you see on YouTube are not legit interview tips. They're just tricks that they copied on a blog. I've been watching a lot of these videos because I keep getting asked by people like, what do you think of this YouTuber? So I began listening to their tips, their hacks, their strategies on how to pass the interview. There's a YouTuber that teaches people how to swindle the interviewer so they can get hired. They're gonna use some tricks or some hacks to try and manipulate the interviewer into hiring them. They are offering like some sort of leakage on how to pass some of the tests, but yeah, you can cheat. But when you get there, when you get hired because you cheated, once you start talking to the foreigner, once you start talking to the client, the angry customer, the racist customer, you don't have an answer to that because there's no answer to that. The best way to get hired in a call center is by speaking good English and by having a good attitude. So I'm going to put something on the D tier. This is the tier that's a complete waste of time. So there's chat or group chat with other English learners. I tried that. I've tried that, and there are a bunch of people who added me on WhatsApp and Viber and all these things. And I found out that a lot of these chats or group chats with other foreigners, these are people from other countries. And people from other countries have a little less practice with English. So if you're a Filipino and you're trying to improve your English and you're going to practice with other practitioners in other Asian countries, it's not a good idea because your skill is already a higher level. You want to practice with people who have better English than you. Not unless you want to be the instructor. So these group chats aren't a good idea, and especially if you're an English teacher and you want to teach in a group chat, it's not a good idea because most of these people in this group chat are people who want to get things for free and nothing in exchange. So if you're an English teacher, it's a complete waste of time doing this group chat. Now, chat with foreigners. I would put this in the D tier. This is a complete waste of time because when you're speaking to foreigners, especially if you're a lady, these are just foreigners looking for a date or foreigners looking for someone to, disrespect. Here's what you do instead. You need to speak with fluent English speakers. It would be great if you are speaking to a friend who's great at speaking in English. So this would be, I guess I'll put this in the A tier. You need to find as many friends as you can who speak in English. But I don't recommend doing it on group chat. I don't recommend using a dating app for this because these people have different intentions. So you want to speak with your friends who speak good English and spend more time with them. And even if you have to pay, even if you have to treat them to Starbucks or buy them a Chicken Joy just so you can chat with them for 30 minutes, that's a lot better than wasting your time in a group chat with people who want to send you their dick pic or people who want to see your boobs or something like that. Talk to yourself. I've heard some people do this, but I'm worried because when I talk to myself, people start looking at me and thinking I'm crazy. So I'll put this here. So I'll put this in the waste of time. Practice in front of the mirror. Well, some people can do this and some people can't. So I'm in the category of people who can't practice in front of the mirror. If I practice in front of the mirror, I find it a little weird. You're better off recording a video of yourself. So I'll put that in the B tier. You should record a video of yourself and watch the video. Listen to how you speak and look for problems. Take some notes. Take some notes on what sounded wrong and then try to improve. Record another video and then record another video and then record another video until you sound better. Now, let me put this chat on the S tier. The best way for you to improve your English is to practice with people who are really good at speaking in English. It's always a good idea to have two kinds of people who speak in English. You need to have the person who's kind to you, the person who's nice to you, and if there's something wrong with your English, they'll let you know in a nice way. And then you also need the kind of person who's rough and tough and will likely bully you if there's something wrong with your English. Because that's the kind of person that will point out what's wrong with you. Because if you don't discover what's wrong with you, then you might have trouble. Because the nice person will say, your English is okay. They'll try to understand you as much as possible, but the nice person won't correct you as much as the bully. So you want someone who's harsh with their words, and they will point out exactly what's wrong with you, so you can go fix yourself. Because if you don't fix yourself, you know what's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario, if you don't fix yourself, is people are just going to smile and nod and pretend that you didn't make a mistake, and then they're just gonna give the job to someone else. And yes, I'm talking about the interviewer. The interviewer likely, so they don't offend you, so they don't increase the duration of the conversation, they're not gonna tell you what's wrong with you unless you ask them. That's why when I talk to most people, or that's why when I talk to a lot of people, I ask them, how did your interview go? And they're gonna say, my interview went okay, but they didn't hire me. but I didn't proceed to the next stage, or they said they'll call me. Well, the interviewer is nice to you. The interviewer didn't point out what's wrong with your English, so they just let you go. You don't want that. You want someone who's gonna say like, ang bulok ng English mo, ang mali yung pagkasabi mo dun sa sentence, baliktad. You need to find out exactly what's wrong so you can fix it. Right? You don't want to go to a doctor that says, oh, you're okay, you're fine. Kahit may cancer ka na, hindi niya sasabihin sa'yo. You have to talk to someone who's honest, who will point out what is wrong with what you're saying so you can fix it. And we're not talking about cancer here. We're just talking about English. So if someone tells you that there's something wrong with your English, you just have to move your words around. Maybe you just have to change the pronunciation a little. And that's it. It's not a big deal. So you need to find the harshest people when it comes to speaking in English, and you need to learn from them. Speaking is the best thing to do to improve your English. The next best thing to do, if you don't have people around, you should write essays on topics that you're interested in. Write down your thoughts, write down your interests, because why do you want to write down your interests? You want to write down your interests because when you meet people, you're going to talk about the things that are interesting to you. And in the same way, I want you to, the next best thing to do, if you don't have a fluent English speaker who's also your friend, I want you to write essays about yourself. Write down things about yourself. Write down stories about your history, about your family, about your jobs, about your skills. Get used to doing that. When people enroll with us, we encourage them to write different essays about different topics about themselves, because when you get to a call center interview, for example, or when you get to any interview, your interviewer will want to know about yourself. So they're going to ask you questions about yourself. And if you're composing 5 or 10 sentences about yourself, you're much better off with 30 minutes writing down things about yourself than 30 seconds trying to come up with a sentence, trying to fix your grammar. Because that's the next best thing that you need to do. And that got me thinking, if you record a video of yourself reading your essays, and then watch it, and then check for grammar problems, check for pronunciation problems. That's the best thing you can do. The other thing that's in the A tier is to journal daily. Talk about what happened. Practice talking about what happened today. Because what happens? How do you talk to people? When you meet someone that you haven't seen, kamusta ka na? That's the first question. How are you? And then, if you say, I'm fine or I'm not fine, the answer is, what happened to you today? So when you journal, the journal is asking you the question, what happened to you today? And if you practice that, that's a lot better than doing all these C-tier activities like reading and watching news, watching tutorials. If you practice writing down what happened to you today, every day for 1 year, then you have 365 sessions on practicing talking about what happened to you today. This is a complete waste of time reading English textbooks, but I'm going to put this in the C tier because maybe there's something wrong with your grammar, but it's not a very efficient way to learn English if you studied high school here in the Philippines, because you've already read 10 English textbooks. So you've already had 10. Tapos uulit ka pa, 11. If you studied college, you might have taken 2 more English textbooks. Free call center training. Free call center training is usually offered by recruitment companies. Most of the time, free call center training is 1 week or a few days and sometimes 2 weeks. Usually, paid call center training is 2 weeks or longer. But will you really fix your English in 2 weeks? I don't think so. Because it takes practice to learn a skill. It takes time to digest information. And if you're just gonna rush yourself, then it's if you're just going to rush yourself, then it's not going to work out. Especially free call center training. I'm putting this in this D tier because in a lot of cases, free call center trainings are offered by recruitment companies, and recruitment companies are not interested in training you. Recruitment companies are interested in finding people to recruit. If you go to a free call center training event, they're gonna do the training. The training is just a show. Their goal, their real goal, is not to teach you how to be great at English. Let's say there are 10 applicants and they find 2 people who are great at English. They're gonna recruit those 2 people, refer those to their client or partner call center companies, and they already made 30,000 pesos from those 2 people. And as for the rest of you, they don't care. You're allowed to sit in the class, and that's it. If you got better, then good. Maybe they can recruit you. If you didn't get better, they're gonna say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't pass the assessment." Blah blah blah. If you want, you can retake, but you're not gonna retake. Let's be honest, you're not gonna retake. So you're a lot better off with paid call center training. You should pay someone to teach you. Now, when it comes to paying someone to teach you, you can hire an English teacher. So you can hire an let's look at our tier list for a while, and let's see if there's anything that I want to change. So I'm gonna put reading English textbooks in the D tier. It's a complete waste of time because it's not really helpful if you're doing something that didn't work the last time. You've already read English textbooks, and you've already had an English teacher explain this to you at least 10 times, and it still didn't work. You need something better. And one of the things I've noticed is a lot of us Filipinos, we already had English class. We already understand the theory. We already understand the grammar rules. What's missing is the practice. The thing with the bottom tier is you're just listening, you're just watching, you're passively trying to improve your English. You're just receiving the information. What's the difference between that and the top tier activities? The top tier activities are activities where you are actually practicing your English. Okay? If you were given a choice between getting surgery from a surgeon who read a lot of books, and you compare it to the person who did surgery on thousands of people, where will you be more confident in receiving your surgery? Would you get someone who's read thousands of books, or would you get someone who's operated on thousands of people? Same thing. You want to be the person who's had a lot of experience applying or practicing your English with real people as much as possible. We're going to talk about problems when you pay for call center training. Yeah, we sell that. You also have other options. You can get a friend. I recommend that you pay your friend. Do not be the kind of friend who asks your friends to do stuff for free, because we're in a pandemic. We're in a situation where money is difficult to come by, and I get that you don't want to pay, but as a friend, you shouldn't burden your friend. If your friend has a job, your friend is better off working and resting, and that's it. Um, you do not force your friend to teach you if they don't want to, right? So you can hire, if you want your friend to teach you, you should pay your friend. You should pay your friend a minimum of 200 per session, because if your friend has a job, your friend can, if your friend wanted more money, your friend can just do overtime and get paid more than 200 pesos an hour. So hiring a call center agent, I'll put that on the B tier, because a call center agent usually knows what you need to do in order to get hired. Now, here's one problem. Not all people who are good at something are also good at teaching. So, and I'll leave the decision up to you. You can hire a call center agent, or you can hire an English teacher. You can hire a call center agent, or you can hire an English teacher. If you hire a call center agent, the call center agent knows what you need to know so you can get hired. The potential problem of hiring a call center agent is the call center agent might not know how to teach it. So that's the risk there. If you hire an English teacher, the English teacher is better at explaining the grammar rules. The English teacher is better at the sentence construction. The English teacher might be a little better with the pronunciation. If there's something wrong with your pronunciation, the call center agent should be able to help you with that. If there's something wrong with the pronunciation, with the English pronunciation, I'm not 100% sure that the English teacher can do that, but they're usually okay. When it comes to knowing about what you need to know so you can get hired in a call center, then the English teacher might not be very helpful. So it's always a good idea to have someone who's a call center agent and someone who's an English teacher, so you can point out. So go to the English teacher for the grammar and go to the call center agent for the pronunciation. And when you're receiving training, you shouldn't aim to get it for free, because aiming to get something for free is a bad idea. You're wasting other people's time. Let's just do a recap here. So at the S tier, the best way to learn English is by speaking English. So if you have friends who are fluent at speaking in English, it's always a good idea to spend a lot of time with them whenever possible, and pay them if you have to. If you are using your friend's time, you are wasting your friend's time. So make it worth their while to spend time with you. So if you're spending time with a friend, you should pay for the Starbucks. You should pay for the food. You should give them something to eat whenever you're hanging out. You should pay for the expenses. Do not be the parasite kind of friend. So if you don't have access to friends, or your friends are not available all the time, maybe you can only talk to them once a week. It's all about how you spend your time when you're alone. Write essays. Write essays on topics that you are interested in. Write essays on topics that you're interested in, because when you meet people, you're going to talk about topics that you're interested in. And you might as well write down your opinions. Write down the things that interest you and talk about that. And write down things that interest you and talk about topics that make you smile. Talk about topics that you are interested in, because when you get to an interview, when you meet people, that's what you're gonna talk about. The next thing that you need to do is you write down essays about yourself, because when you get to an interview, you're gonna talk about yourself. When you get the time, record a video of yourself reading your essays, and then you journal daily, because when you journal daily, you get to talk about what happened to you today. You can talk about your thoughts, and journaling costs less time than writing an essay. So if you can't write an essay, you might as well journal. Spend 5 minutes, just write down what happened today so you can talk about it. On the B tier, listen to podcasts and interviews on interesting topics. Why do you want to listen to interviews and podcasts? Because you get to listen to people talking. podcasts and interviews of people talking about interesting topics is a lot better than watching movies or watching TV shows, because when you watch movies and you watch TV shows, you're listening to someone else's story. You can hire a call center agent or you can hire the English teacher. It's a little expensive, but if you are learning, if you're getting better, it's worth it. If you can get a job in a call center and get paid 25,000 pesos a month, that's 300,000 pesos a year. 300,000 pesos a year, you do that for 5 years, so 3, 6, 9, 1.2 million, 1.5 million. So 5 years, 1.5 million. That's easy. You don't need to join, those weird companies. Listen to podcasts and interviews on interesting topics. Pay someone to teach you. So reading and watching the news, it's in the higher part of the C tier, because you're gonna learn about current events. So if you read and watch the news, the only thing you can talk about is current events. YouTube English tutorials, if there's something wrong with your grammar, if you have one thing, watch that specific topic. But if you're gonna learn about the basic grammar rules from scratch, I think it's a time waster. Same thing with call center interview tips. If you're watching call center interview tips, then chances are there's something really wrong with your English. Because a lot of people who get hired in the call center, they don't really if a person has good English, they don't need interview tips. Watching English show, not a good idea. Not unless you're a kid. If you're a 3-year-old kid and you're watching this, watch English TV shows, watch English movies. English textbooks, complete waste of time. Chat groups with foreigners and other English learners, not a good idea, complete waste of time. Practice in front of the mirror. I don't do this because I find it awkward. I don't talk to myself. Because I don't talk to myself. I don't talk to myself because people will think I'm weird, and free call center training's complete waste of time. That's it as far as our tier list goes. Spend more time practicing and improving your skills. Speak with people who speak good English and write essays on topics that you're interested in, and write essays about yourself, and journal daily. So those are the best things that you can do. And even if you enroll with us, we're still gonna ask you to do all that. So might as well practice. That's it for our video. Thank you so much for watching up to the end. And if you're the person who watched this video up to the end, you're my kind of person. So hit like and leave a comment down below and let me know what topic you'd like me to talk about in the next video. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.